Great. And this one's from Lambton Primary School. It kind of lets you expand a bit on what you were just saying.
Sure.
Lambton's in Washington, by the way. This is from Jodie Lee, who's 10. Hello, Jodie Lee.
Hello, Jodie Lee.
And Jodie Lee says, what is the very best thing about being an actor?
Wow, yeah, another great question. There are lots of good things about being an actor, of course. One of them talking to you lovely people as we speak. I love the fact that you can come into work as Tom, and then within an hour of a bit of makeup and hair and a different costume, and you get to take on the shoes of someone completely different. Especially with Draco, because you couldn't really get two different characters. Tom Felton from Surrey with his dog, and then Draco Malfoy, this evil wizard with blonde hair from God knows where. So yeah, it's great for me. I love the fact that you get to play someone completely different and really embody someone that's completely out of your world, really. So yeah, it's a lot of fun in doing that, I think.
Great, and I've just noticed a great question on the chat board. This is from Erin from Hege.
Oh, go for it.
And she wants to know, I guess because you were saying that you kind of stumbled into acting and it wasn't always your dream. She'd like to know, what was your dream when you were a kid?
Yeah, you're making me scratch the head here. I'm trying to think. There's a while back. I said, what am I? I suppose the obvious was that there must have been a time where I wanted to be a footballer.
Yeah.
I think every young lad in there. And then I remember I had an obsession with lorries. I used to think lorries are fantastic. I always wanted to drive lorries, and that progressed, I think, into big machines, JCBs and sort of diggers and things like that. So how I went from there to acting, God knows. It's a strange path that we take. But yeah, it was the usual childhood fantasy.
Yeah.
I think, train driver.
Not sure how usual lorry driving is.
No, that's a fair point. Well, train drivers are common.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know what it is. Big machines, I guess. Yeah. I just fancied a lorry over a train. I'm not sure. But yeah, usual, I think.
Great.
Thanks for the question. That's a good one. Question.
And this is from Broadway Junior School Filmclub in Sunderland, from Jessica, who's 9. I think there should be a photo of Broadway coming up as well. And she says, and this is a great question actually because it reminds me of my approach to homework at school.
Go on.
She says, when you're acting, do you always read the script and practice, or, and be honest, do you leave it till the last minute?
You want to be very honest with you here. It's a great question actually, and I used to think it's really important actually to learn every single detail on that page off by heart, so no matter what happens, you can literally say everyone's lines, not only your own but everyone else's as well, which of course I recommend, and it's imperative that you know the lines. You don't want to be thinking about what you need to be saying, but equally I've been on some particular film sets, not so much Harry Potter, where all of a sudden they may change half of the page on the last day. If you've got this one bit of dialogue imprinted in your head, it's very hard to all of a sudden change it to something else. So it's a bit of both. Obviously you need to know exactly what you're saying, and I think it's more important you remember the sort of the atmosphere of the scene and what you're trying to convey in the scene is more important necessarily than the dialogue. And also be prepared for changes, because that does happen, and you need to be able to sort of pick things up and roll with them, which is a hard lesson I learned the hard way. But yeah, it's a mixture of both, but certainly you don't want to be walking on set not knowing anything. That doesn't help. That doesn't make for a good day's filming, it must be said.
This is actually connected to a question from Alex at Hege. Alex is 9, and he says, do you ever make stuff up yourself on films? Do you ever make up?
He's seen my work, hasn't he? Alex? He's spotted that. Improvisation is a great thing, Alex, and yeah, sometimes we do use it. We've been very lucky in the later Harry Potter films that the directors have been very open and saying, you know your character very well, say what he would say. Saying that, obviously we're transcribing from beautiful books, and it would be a real shame, and it would be terrible for us to get away from them too quickly. So yeah, it's more on other projects, but it's certainly something that I think any actor, if you're embodying a character, then you should be able to talk like them on the spot, if you will, or make things up, like you say.
Okay, Roseacre Primary School in Blackpool have got a great question for you, and actually we think all 90 film clubbers are watching today from Roseacre, so that's pretty good. That's a big film club.
Wow.
Hello there.
Hello there. Thanks for stopping by.
And this question is from Jake, who's 8, and it's a hard one. He's going to put you on the spot a bit.
Here we go. Come on, Jake.
He says, which do you prefer most, acting in Harry Potter or playing in a band? If you had to choose.
Oh, wow. It's a great question. It's two opposite ends of the spectrum, really. So with acting in Harry Potter as well, specifically, and Harry Potter is a great thing to act in. There's no hiding that. I do have a lot of fun on the Harry Potter set, and it's great fun to be able to play music with a band. They both have their own have their own qualities. I have to, suppose, part with pottery and say that's been the one that I've been doing the longest. And every time I go back there, I get a great sense of nostalgia, and it's been a second home to me. Well, almost the first time. I've been there longer than I have my school or anything like that. So yeah, it's a real place that holds great memories for me. And yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the acting. I think it's a tough one for me, but I'll swing that side of it, I think.
Is the atmosphere on set ever a bit like a school, I guess, because you've grown up together?
Very much so, yeah. It was used to be slightly different, where we had the children, i.e. us when we were young, and we had the adults and the crew, whereas now we're all kind of
all grown
merged
up,
into one. Yeah, a lot of us have been there as in the crew as well, have been there for 6, 7, 8 years, so they know us better than almost anyone in a way. So yeah, it's like very much like a big family, and it's the fact that it's coming to an end is a very sad fact. We're not looking forward to that at all.
Well, that leads on nicely on to the next one, which is from Bescar Primary School in Doncaster. It's from Alison, and there should be a photo coming up, I think. Alison says, have you any memorable moments from filming?
Wow, Alison, millions, literally, enough to boggle my mind now when I'm trying to think. Yeah, they're all precious memories, really. And all.
Do you remember your first day on set?
Yeah, actually, that's a great one to start with. Actually, I never forget the first day filming that I remember. Really, consciously, us all being there and sort of meeting each other for the first time on set was when we walked through the Great Hall gates, all with our doors. Sorry, not gates. All with our ties that were unbranded yet. We were not in our houses yet. So we all walked through the Great Hall as you know, young angelic 10-year-olds almost. And looking back at that now, it really makes me think, you know, Lord, if you had told us then that we were going to be back in that Great Hall 10 years from now, still promoting the same stuff, it would be incredible. So yeah, I always get a bit teary when I think about those times, all the way back then. But yeah, good times.
And from good memories to bad ones, I'm afraid. At Padnell Junior School, and Olivia, who's 10, wants to know, have you made any mistakes when you were filming?
Many mistakes, yeah. Again, another one who's clearly familiar with my work, must admit. Lots of mistakes are made, especially on the Harry Potter set. Not just with the actors, but it's a very technical area, so sometimes the camera's not quite right in the right place, or the sound boom gets into shot, or so it's not always the actor's fault, but certainly a lot of the time it is. You always make mistakes. The worst thing is when you can't say a particular line or a particular phrase because it just gets in your head. You know, you can't say this line and that's it. You just keep messing it up. I've got quite upset once actually about it, and I thought I can't do it, and then you realise how friendly the crew is around you, and they're all, look, come on, don't get stressed about it, just enjoy it, and that's when you do a good line and you realise that that's what you should have done in the first place. But yeah, lots of mistakes. You can't get too put off by it or too heartbroken. Just laugh and get on with it, and don't try to waste any more time, I guess.
Good advice in general, I think. Next question is from Broadway Junior School in Sunderland. This is from Kennedy, who's 9. And it's quite a similar one to the last one, but you might have a more specific memory. She says, what's your most embarrassing moment?
Yeah, again, plenty of embarrassing moments, mainly linked with mistakes or phones. We have a terrible, obviously there's a lot of people on set, and they're quite very strict actually of keeping your phones off, because obviously if a phone goes, then it really ruins the take, ruins the concentration, ruins everything. And it's one of those things that when a phone does go off, everyone's like, oh God, whose phone is it? Honestly, how long have we been here before? And that happened once, of course, and it was ringing, and we were all going, God, And I looked at the chair which I was sitting on before, and there it was, shining away.
Did you fess up, or did you blame it on?
I said, Daniel, can't believe it. How long have you been here for? Amateurs, honestly. No, I actually did get caught that time. We have adopted a red card system as well, where if you are responsible for any cutting of takes, premature cutting, then I think you owe £10 to the kitty. I think we're up to a few thousand. It all goes to charity in the end, so it has a great cause.
Good cause,
It's for Rupert as well and his laughing fits. We have to stop that as well.
Is that his particular?
But I don't think so now. I think since the introduction of the £10 fine, I think he did about £2 grand's worth, and then he said, right, you know what, I'm going to sort this out.
It's just not funny after £2 grand.
It's just not funny after £2 grand. It's a great little soundbite.